all this is and also the part 6 of the very special challenge or recording, and stuff like that, And yeah, like making up like my own like things, and I know that it's not really Solar Cloud anymore, but the reason why I'm not changing Solar Cloud into like something else is just because the goal at first was to be like Solar Cloud and stuff like that, but then things change, and stuff like that, and I will still have that in the title because that was just the original idea and stuff like that. Yeah, but then things changes, right, It's not that because obviously this is just my own type of challenge, right? So I can just change the rules, and stuff like that, right? When I want to, and stuff like that. But I'm going to try and stick with certain things, right? And because certain bosses just a face roll anyway, then just being like Solar Cloud doesn't really make that much difference, Stuff like that. But there are going to be certain things that are going to be interesting, right? That maybe I will try like Fury being solo on certain bosses, right? And stuff like that, But yeah. Yeah, and the potato clips are now uploaded. It's good. Cloud is level 72. She's level. She has 100 magic, but of course she has a bunch of like summon materials equipped. So keep that in mind, of course, obviously. And of course, once you have like all the steam materials mastered here, for example, then of course you have a bunch more steam materials that I can equip. I can equip 2 more steam materials here and stuff that to level up. But what I would probably do is instead just keep the ones that are mastered on Claude, stuff that, and then use put the other ones on the other characters because there will be enough room for it. We are getting a lot of ethers here, so yes, you can see, which is something that makes this like really good. So that definitely you can get a lot of ethers this way. But also here's the thing, right? One thing that you can also do, for example, is in the battle arena is to rely on items, because items getting locked is actually very rare. The items showing up as being a lock is like very rare. It doesn't happen very often at all. I feel like that's one of the more rare handicaps that happens. Usually it will happen easier if you have, like, for example, W item, but if you have W item, I feel like the command material showing up real material, this command will have a higher chance to show up than like it locking items. So that, and that feels like a much harder handicap that will show up much later in the game and stuff that, generally speaking. Kevin is now level 60. Of course, it will take a while for him to get the thing. Of course, obviously. So at level 62, she's still black. That's way less than 30,000, for example. And usually at around this level, Claude still needs something like. So yeah. Because I'm pretty certain that Ares is supposed to be comparable, or not comparable to the other characters, that she is supposed to be way faster. But maybe where you really start seeing that is maybe at the higher levels, when the other characters will like requires tremendously more amounts. But the question is how long until she catches like Claude, for example, like level-wise. Or will Claude always reach level 99 before her because of the level differences? Cost 2,600 again, as I said, which is 26,000, which is almost a level, or it is technically a level on certain of the other characters, but yeah. And the music is doing this often now. It's actually pretty fun when it happens. It's just like super silent, like Yeah, I mean, the dragon scales, by the way, as I said, like, there are certain attack items that are used absolutely fucking busted. The fucking dragon scales are absolutely insane. Because of the fact that the dragon scales, right, yes, it's an attack item, so it always needs the same amount of damage. Unless, of course, something is immune or absorbs water, but absorbing water, the amount of enemies that can quote-unquote absorb water or like even take less damage from water, there's very few enemies that absorb water. I think the serpent in the dungeon plane can absorb it, but that's because it specifically has aqualung, so you can still get aqualung. Even if you have missed aqualung, you can still get it from the serpent in the dungeon plane. Right now, however, from my understanding, you have limited amount of places you can get it from. So technically, but because I said like, oh, I don't allow myself to use enemy skill, but once we beat the game, for example, after that, we could start using enemy skill. But then maybe it would feel cheap, right? Like we would have to defeat both Emerald and Ruby weapon without using enemy skill. You know what? Yeah, because he doesn't have any double growth weapons. I need to remember that he's equipped with a bunch of stuff that needs to get leveled up and also going to take a long time. So yeah, why don't I add added effect, for example, to Ares, and then add the elemental to Claude. Elemental to Claude. There we go. I need to remember that he doesn't have the thing. I'm actually going to try and use short barrel here actually, just to see what the damage is. Yes, short barrel won't crit as much, so stuff that. Alright, but I was using Robert though. So let's just switch him back to double barrel then. Let's just use the short barrel on him then. Roller coaster still needs to master these then. I like they are very close as well here. But yeah, and I might actually remove her summons though. Stuff that and just put the steel material on her, we will see. Peter's gonna tell you about the bird. Okay, now hit for 1,500. So it kind of felt like they had a gun critted for those amounts, kinda, and stuff that, right? Like the sniper CR. Even though, right, the short barrel is 51, this is 42, for example, and stuff like that, but yeah. Did we already master it? Oh, by the way, maybe we did actually. I didn't pay attention. There we go, Steel was born. Actually, we could use the equipped weapon instead. Boom. Just have the weapon equipped because some of these are already mastered here. And then one will go here, of course, obviously into this slot. And then we're still using the double thing here. And stuff that's, yeah. So what's his start chance? Set to 69. Oh, they're matching each other in dexterity now. Yeah, he's getting pretty close though. Okay, so we already have another steel, right? Correct? Yes. Give you steel then, Claude. Chocomog and give you elemental here. I think we'll have an extra slot here where we will put something, but not yet. Once one of the steel becomes mastered, it will go here, and then when this steel becomes mastered, it will go there, and stuff like that. And then, you know, yes, I'm gonna put more of the steel. Actually, let's just do that. Boom. And then let's just remove Shiva. And then elemental there, so we have 2 elementals. I think that's fine. And this is part 36, by the way. Also, that one was part 35. So, yeah. Okay, so now it is 2,600 damage. It's not fucking 2,000, yeah. So yeah, she can crit still pretty hard. Stuff that, of course, if she were to slap on like her strongest, which is our Aurora, which is 51 damage, which is the same as Claude's, except it crits more than Claude's weapons. And Claude, of course, does have Yoshiyuki, which is, of course, absolutely insane. But from my understanding, Yoshiyuki also has the built-in Princess Guard effect, kinda. Except, of course, the way it works is not just... It's only the material that you have equipped on said weapon, if I remember correctly. So Claude would only be able to gain the benefit of having 2 mastered cover materials on the Yoshiyuki itself. If I remember correctly. I think it has that built-in functionality of that as well, but you know, because the thing would be like, for example, like if one character is dead, Claude doubles the damage, but then instead of tripling it, if 2 characters are dead, it's instead quadrupling his damage. And then you might think that, oh, that would be that Claude should be dealing 9,999 damage with the Yoshiyuki, which is actually kind of untrue. That's not exactly how it works. Like, very weird with how the Yoshiyuki works, but the Yoshiyuki, for example, if you're berserked, the Yoshiyuki does a lot of damage. Okay, so 2, so I think both of those 2 still got born there. Okay, so exchange, that still is mastered, that still is mastered, so that still will be here. Right, and then we Ifrit, with Titan. Elemental is mastered. Is this elemental also mastered? No. That elemental is not yet mastered, so we do that. That still is mastered. Still is not mastered. But then instead of rune armlet, I mean, we could still technically go with rune armlets here. But because we do not have the filled slots, so we should actually do that first. I don't need to put a steel on her yet. So I range first here. Right, and the first, this one, we had this one on, we did have that one on, okay, but yeah, so we have the 3 ones here now, 3 more that we need to master. So that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so then there's only 1 more material slot then, so this gives Claude 75 dexterity, and he gives 23% like dodge chance at that point. This is still not super high, stuff that, but for example, if we were to give him the Choco Feather, that will bring him up to 26. 85 dexterity. Yeah. So that will be a 3+ on the percent chance. And it might look like very low and stuff that, like, I don't know technically if it technically gives you more at mastered, or if luck would technically be better, because I know that luck does a lot. But I also think that, right, that it's limited what stats you can get, right, once you get morph, right. you won't be able to morph all the stats immediately, because there are certain stats that I believe is only found in the downshifter plane. Like, I'm pretty certain that doesn't exist on early like luck source. I don't think. Let's say we would go with the Fury strat, then maybe there would be better things than just using all dexterity, especially if you would go with Yoshi-Yuki. Then maybe it's just like 2 cover materials mastered, you know, and stuff that, right? That's just, we want to be using 2 mastered like cover materials and stuff that I can use to have 2 mastered here, cover materials, because the cover doesn't take that long to master, stuff that, you know, yeah. Right, I mean, the diamond bangle used that 1% more. They're actually matters way more than you might think. They're one more there that you can have. No. Yes, and of course the Choco bracelet. The only way to get a Choco bracelet, by the way, is for Chocobo racing. Stuff that. So yeah, so we need to master those other steals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steel mastered. 6 actually, 6 steals mastered. Let's already have already have 1 elemental mastered. If we master more elementals than only 2 though. Oh, I don't think we do. Yeah, damn, there's a lot of stuff we have mastered. It is getting quite ridiculous though. The amount of stuff we have mastered. Eventually, even if he only gets, like, for example, like maybe he gets 1 kill in certain fights and maybe he get 2 kills in certain fights, maybe there are kills when they're 0, okay, so that's what I was created from him there. Okay, he only got 1 kill that time, but for example, I believe he needs only 40 kills with every single one, so 40 kills to get Death Gigas and then 40 kills to get Hellmasker, and of course Chaos is fine with that to fall. You can get there early with the Chocobo, otherwise you have to wait for the submarine. So if you get, for example, the Chocobo, you can, of course, fairly easily just get the Mountain Chocobo, and then just reset if you get the wrong Chocobo, for example. Because there is something where you buy a very, very specific amount of greens. So that case, so this is not elemental. It's not elemental mastered. And now, she has absolutely no reason to use that staff now, because there's no room for anything else there, and stuff that, so there's no point. So she can use this for a while instead. Because I think right that with the steals that we have, because this will of course be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this will be 7, 8, 9. So then we will have 9 steel materials mastered after that. And then, for example, we only need to have 1 more steel material mastered. And that 1 steel material will just need to go on her rune omelet, for example. Stuff that, you know. And I can just remove that counterattack now and just put that counterattack on her instead. So we can master that a bit faster. Yeah, the steel strats, but this will of course go up by quite a bit, like just from equipping the double bangle, even though it's just 1 defense percent. Because keep in mind that yes, there will be 1 more steel material here. For example, if I had the dragon armlet, it would be here, and if it would be organics, it would be here. So then we would be able to have 1, 2, 3 more. We will be able to have 3 more steel materials. and that will be like plus 6 additional defense percent, or +7 then if you... I forgot exactly what the percentage defense is. I think it's 8% on the dragon armor, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's 7. So of course his short battery could be compared to that. Of course, obviously, yes, Diamond Bang Sleeve will of course have more material, but yeah, but she's only getting the magic increase from that. Yes, 93, she has 102. No. So of course he's getting that MP or magic increase from Kyota. There's 1 plus magic. But I believe her Aurora gives way more than Winston's short barrel does, if I'm not mistaken. That's of course because Vincent is way later character, so it takes a while for him to get the weapons that increases his magic by quite a bit. There is of course also the whole Adam and Bangle strat that you can use also in the place. However, the thing when all Adam and Bangle is really good is of course if you have Adam and Bangle of course is really good if you you will probably need to have a pretty powerful materia and then have it linked to like MP Absorb or something like that, and then make sure that it is one of those. Because there are spells that literally pay for themselves, like if you use MP Absorb with that's around, for example, you will never out of MP because of just how much it will MP Absorb. Stuff like that. Same thing with MP Absorb on certain materials is just insane. Because for example, you can just go with, because the My 3 spell is not super expensive, but you can just basically use like you can have a character, for example, that you just have the whole Demai, have Demai with quadramatic as one of the things, and then you have another gravity that is linked with the HP absorb, so you get the HP absorb effect as well, and then you just need to have double magic. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to take 5,000 damage from Atom Storm when he does Atom Storm. If he does Atom Storm, yes, that's out of it. And you use cast Demai first, and so you W summon the Demai, and then on another character you use Mime, like you're meant to use Mime on the other 2 characters. The main problem though, if I remember correctly, is mastering Mime takes an insanely long time. Stuff that because that is probably because the Mime is probably quicker to master than mastering quadramatic. Because quadramatic I think was a lot. I need to try and look that up so I can remember how much it is that quadramatic is needed to master. Because I'm pretty certain that quadramatic was a lot. Okay, 74 claw now. You can see now it needs 40,000, but that is still like way lower than like needing, as I said, because the 2,600, 100 battles is 260,000, and you don't even need 100,000 yet, so then that is still at level 74. And you can see it's at 103 now magic, just at 1 or 2, it's of course more than 10 levels behind. Vincent has pretty decent now, 93 magic still, you know. He has 50 dexterity also, which is decent, but yeah, 68, she's 71 also, she is higher, 59, 59, 59, 58. I mean, sure, this gun is going to take a while to do and stuff like that, but yeah. But you can see definitely using the Fury Ring is really smart here once your character gets powerful enough, because that's actually faster than using the limit breaks. because we might actually want to master more one. So there we go, Kuyata is born. Yo, let's go, that's all the summons. That's all the summons so far mastered. It's absolutely crazy, considering what Kyoto needed. That effect needs a lot though. So that's going to be 100,000, right? Yeah, I'm pretty certain. Yeah, that's 100,000 on to master the added effect material. Elemental was of course way faster than that, but yeah. I'm pretty certain that Elemental plus something will be like a full immunity to said element. Well, absorbing at least, you know, so that, yeah. I'm actually going to use double check here. So Elemental, right, I don't think it changes when it's mastered. Because imagine if that showed up as absorbing all those elements, right, how crazy that would have been. But for example, you can do... You can, for example, do this. Get the rare wind elemental observation. If you really want to, for example. And what else is a bit odd? I don't think Odin gave you anything, right? No. Odin is not a hidden element, but for example, if you did this, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, man. Come on, man. Come on, you oyster bunnies. Come on, man. But if you do this, for example, it does not show up here. But now you're absorbing Ultima Beam. You're absorbing Ultima Beam with this. Because there is a hidden element of course in this. Not every spell has it. There's just a very few specific spells. Restore has it. What else is it? There are a couple of spells that actually has it. And it's not that it's Restore like the curing functionality is what it is. It is something else, but it's a hidden element. And there are certain attacks that do have that element, and one of them is Ultima Beam. So then you can technically now absorb Ultima Beam with that. It's because it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, he doesn't need to be equipped with anything, of course, obviously. And, you know... Of course, getting the steel here mastered again is going to take a while to do, of course, obviously. It's going to take a while to do. Say every day at 5:52. How far is... Okay. So she is 4 levels behind, and now she starts needing 30,000, but Claude, for example, needs 35,000 kinda, or a bit more since he has been there, so now he's gonna reach 1 million there, experience finally. So he's gonna reach it during 74, that's when he reaches 1 million experience needed. Now the thing, of course, when we're gonna do the Omnis Last grind, you know, it is gonna take a while to do a certain other thing that we need to do. What is it exactly that we need to do? Because when doing the Omnis Last grind, we need to make sure that we do not interact with our keystone thing, and then we trigger that, because I wanna trigger that. sequence later and stuff, that whole keystone thing. Because the keystone thing requires you to win in the arena, and actually if you win in the arena there, you get some okay-ish rewards, I would say, is what you get and stuff like that, right? Then it depends on how hard the fights are that you get, of course, obviously, but yeah. Yeah, I always considered him to kind of be like a black mage, is what Vincent kind of in this is, you know, stuff that, right? Because he has a pretty low HP pool, all things considered, you know, and stuff that, right? You know. Yeah, sure, she has a few levels on him and stuff that, right? She is 64, he is 62 there. She doesn't have anything that increases her HP or black decreases it and stuff that, yeah. Also with the Dumb Bangalore, for example, yes, it would only be one more slot. As you can see, it would only be one more slot with the Dumb Bangle. Eating coat, of course, could give you way more slots, but it's just the problem is that the eating coat does have no defense percent. This is a bit weird, of course, obviously. Now the thing is, all those quote-unquote yoke weapons that you can find in Temple of Ancient and after Temple of Ancient, because the mop needs to be picked up for whatever reason. So I was weird. Yeah. And remember when we picked up Bahamut Zero that time that we missed Bahamut Zero, which we did on purpose, of course, obviously. Because I didn't know that you could fail the train in multiple different ways there, that if you do not even catch the train, then yes, the train stops, the train does not crash into Corel. So you don't get the whole, oh, the train crashed into Corel, right? Because the train just escapes, right? It doesn't like cause an issue because there is still a drive in the train, so the train won't crash into Corel. But they escape, of course, and you don't get the chance to buy Ultima material at all. Meaning you just literally miss your chance to be able to get Mathematic because you can no longer get Ultima anywhere. And I don't think they allowed you to even dig up Ultima material at that point. It's crazy, right? Because remember that, right? That if you don't even catch the train, if you don't even make it onto the train won't crash. And stuff like that, right? The train will just get away and then you won't get access to. You will still be able to get Catastrophe, I believe, but you won't be able to get the Ultima material at all. They don't even send it to you and stuff like that, much space, you know, and stuff like that, you know. Your counterattack was going. It took a long time for counterattack. So that's another counterattack. That's also technically a strategy you can do. You can technically have a bunch of counterattacks mastered, and I believe it also works the whole multiply thing. And yes, that's also a strategy that you can use against Emerald weapon and stuff like that. But generally, the counter material is better, but the one that you can link to magic, right? Because that counter thing, it's more than just magic, right? Because you can link all the blue material that is called counter is the one counter attack. You can counter with summon material, you can counter with magic material, and you can counter specifically with command material. So you can, for example, master Forex cut, and then, for example, if you're using the maximum amount of like linked slots that you could possibly have, so you use a weapon that has like 8 linked slots, and then you can basically go like counter, double cut, so you have it mastered, so you have 4x cut, so every time then you take damage, right? And the way that the counter works is, counter works not only against physical, I believe it also works against magical, so you can basically counter magical attacks, which, you know, is very powerful to be able to do. So long range is very close to getting mastered, so that's going to be 80,000 to master it. And stuff, you know, so yeah, long range. Can we switch to sniper? I don't know. You know, it's my boy Vinny. Claude is fucking slapping with his damage. And close Claude is considerably higher. And stuff that, like, that's the thing, like, once you get up to certain levels, the growth per level is like way higher. Don't change your spoon! No. Now we can usually move that and use them in the front from that point, so we don't have to waste the materials up there. Actually, let's do that because we have 3 here that we can equip. So, steel, yoink, steel, yoink, steel, yoink, because those are not mastered. And instead, we put him on diamond bangle there so we get the more dogs right away. So that then you will be able to check more easily. And of course, we will keep adding here. So once those 3 mastered, we put all those 3 in here. 1, 2, 3, and then of course there's just one more all or one more steel that we need to be mastered after that. And now he's at how much? 23, okay. So yeah, so that 1% from diamond bangle is worth a lot. That 1% there from that. It's the highest so far, by the way. So yeah. Because the Kikyoshi Yuki is slightly stronger there, as you can see. Oh. Yeah, 3k damage at this point. I have to realize that means that Organ, or that means, for example, that Nail Bat will be doing an insane amount of damage. A Nail Bat you can get fairly quickly in the Temple of Ancients, but of course the first guy, I think the first thing you get, right, you get the silver rifle that you get in the first room with the first of those Nyam, you know, the first, you know, so-called ancient spirits. You know, that kind of looks very, very similar to the Chocobo Sage. I also thought the Chocobo Sage is meant to be an ancient that is actually alive, you know. It's the ancient that's specific to carve chocobos, you know. He was like, I'm not gonna fucking fight, you know, like I'm instead gonna beat chocobos. Okay, she's almost gaining a level, so she's gaining the level sooner than Claude is, of course, obviously, because, you know. I think all of his weapons are long range, right? Yeah. His weapons are long range. But there comes a point actually when it's better to actually use them with the critical thing. Of course, the best thing would be if you could imagine going Berserk start to see if it could just figure out to use like Death Blow and stuff that. When you're in the Berserk status, you know, stuff that, you know, that would be crazy. How much does you need for next one? Yeah, still only 31,000 there, for example. Hermetic is absolutely crap, and then yes, hermetic defense is hiding closes. At that point, yeah. It's just not weird, of course, because, you know, like, yeah, she has very powerful stats. She's not, of course, the physical attacker that Sephiroth is, but she's like magic-wise. That because I think he's actually stronger than Sephiroth correctly in terms of the action pure stance. But not really at the same time. She doesn't get as powerful as Sephiroth is at like level 50 and stuff. That dramatic stat is not as good as Sephiroth's. But of course, you get like absolutely insane like magic defense and stuff. That's yeah. Grinding? Of course, it has to roll up into ball. It's gonna take a long time actually for him to get it just because of the order that they attack in. So let me try out the Sniper CR now and see how much damage Sniper CR is now. So 108. 108 versus 117. Okay, that's like a big difference. And I don't think that if I equip Death Blow, I don't think that would make him quit. However, if he were, for example, to equip like Death Blow and then like Chocobo Lure and stuff like that, you know, it's like those things, then yeah, maybe that would work. Let's double it as again. 43 ethers. Right. It's a new level and he needs 38,000, so he almost needs 40,000 now for a level. You know. Yes, it's gonna be interesting though, like how long until she needs 1 million. Will she reach 1 million during level 74? That's gonna be the real question, right? Once she reaches level 74. Will she require 1 million at that point, or how much less will she require? You know. Because I know it's supposed to be very significant, but she needs to max out. She's the one that needs the lowest amount of all. I think Kate's might actually be the second lowest, I think. You know. There's about the body we also gain this way and stuff that's there. The thing is, I would love to do the Chocobo stuff without doing any Chocobo racing at all. You might say that, oh, but how are you supposed to gain the reward from the Chocobo racing and stuff that, but the main problem also is that there are certain Chocobo rewards that I believe, like if you're doing like a 100% run, then basically, because there is no way to prevent your Chocobo from classing up, there's no way to make it so that you don't like advance, like you choose like not to advance or whatever, right? That's not possible. Stuff that you not advance, like you could just do the same type of race, or because a lot of people might say that, oh, you need to do a certain amount of long race and a certain amount of short, but you can just keep doing long races and then eventually getting the class up as well and stuff like that, yeah. Because the thing is, there are certain items that you can only get while you're A rank instead of S rank and stuff that, you know, stuff that which is a bit, you know, weak. But there are of course a lot of fucking busted rewards in the Chocobo racing stuff that. The fact that if you defeat the weapon, you actually get a free golden Chocobo and stuff that, right? So you know, so we don't want to do any Chocobo breeding at all. Like if you know that you can use very very easily defeat the emerald weapon once you get to that point, then there's no reason at all to waste any time at all doing the Chocobo breeding. The only thing you need to do is buy exactly one. You need to buy a single stable slot to be able to get that Chocobo. We go ahead, I think it was born. Use that boom so we can have this like that. I think these three will of course get that A1, 2, 3, and then there will be one more slot that we need. That's crazy, I don't want to where this is. so much stuff because the EMP absorb, HP absorb elementals, arid effect. It's absolutely insane. Of course, it would take a while, of course, obviously, you know. Was that a 6,700? I think that was a 6,700 actually. So now he's kind of dealing Sephiroth damage with his attack. But that is of course because of Fury status. It's not how much attack it is that Fury gives you. It doesn't double your attack, I don't think. Then I feel also when you're Fury, I'm pretty certain you have high crit when you're Fury as well. Because keep in mind that Claude only has 100 in his hit rating. While, for example, because I always thought that the hit rating here, the attack percentage also affects your crit. You know, and stuff that way, is what makes Vincent really good, because Vincent has the best crit weapons. Of course, Tifa also has some good ones. Tifa also has God Hand, which also gets the 255. Stuff like that. Now, the funny thing is also that certain characters have fake ultimate weapons that are still like insanely good, like the Super Shot ST for Vincent. The Super Shot ST is also one of those, like it has no material growth. Barrett gets Pile Banger, which is kind of wrong. And I don't think it's meant to be called Pile Driver either. You know, whatever go, Hellmaster. There you go, see, you just grind for a while and now you have Hellmaster. That's into Hellmask. All him beats the FPS. So Hellmask is basically like the chainsaw thing, but it also has, it's not you like the, well, it's not Leatherface, but he has like the mask right from he has the mask of like Jason right here. It's like one of those hockey masks thing. So it's more like the Casey owns from, you know, Ninja Turtles. Or, sorry, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because ninja is too violent of a word. Stuff that, because people were fucking making ninja stars, like stuff like that. People took like the whole black metal thing, the woodworking stuff that metal like is included into and stuff like that, the woodworking. I think I showed this would take a lot longer without a triple time speed, which is 2 of course, but you know, like use the thing is used that if you have like the speed on set on maximum, then like the fucking thing is so good. The Fury Ring, because Fury Ring just does inputs way faster than you can and stuff like that, right? And I feel also when you're under Fury, I feel like your speed is actually increased when you're under Fury, you know, when you go surfing. Seeing Aries doing those damage numbers is actually pretty satisfying, not gonna lie. In the bad taking, it used to requires you to reach the clock room and then do the fight here. But the thing is, you want to get the best fight in the clock room, because there are several different fights you can get in the clock room. The best one you can get is against 3 dragons, but that one is basically like a side attack, because it's basically 2 dragons on one side and 1 dragon behind you. Because I don't think there's a quadruple of the... I forgot, are they called Ancient Dragon even? Because, or Ancient Wyvern, I think they're called, because they're wyverns, they're not actual dragons. Stuff like that, but those black dragons like can hit you extremely fucking hard. Even if you have like the best armor possible at that point, they will hit you like very, very hard. Stuff like that. Of course, if you can get the luck material in the Temple of Ancient, then that's gonna feel really bad, because all the time spending here grinding up certain things, right? If there's a luck plus material, then And I believe, right, that the materials in this, right, can be stacked infinitely, right? Like there's no limit in this. So, for example, like you can gain, like if you have, for example, luck plus, like you don't max out by having 2 luck plus materials equipped. So, of course, if we could get high enough luck, then basically we would basically be invincible. Like nothing can do anything to us. The only thing that could do stuff to us in the battle arena would literally be literally status effects. Those would be the only things that would be bad. Stuff like that. So we would just need like we would just need to have like ribbon equipped. And then even if ribbon breaks, we would probably have a bunch of other effects and something else. But yeah. So that is if it is luck, that is the arrangements. So I think it might be, you know, because there's going to be a luck plus, there's a speed plus, there's a magic plus, there's of course 8 and MP plus, but yeah. But not everything gets a plus, of course. There's like no vitality plus and stuff like that, right? Because that would be like buster or like spirit plus technically, you know, stuff that, you know. It's gonna tell you about the bird. Okay, so at 76 we need how much? Okay, so there's still 35,000 left there. It only needs about 10,000 now for her next level. Oh, with the antics, yeah, right. That's because of she's currently benefiting 6 plus from the 3 steals. Yeah. Now, one thing you have to realize also, for example, like I just want to show you it in a battle here. Let's remove that. Let's move to 3 times speed here. And let's show you what happens if I set speed to slowest there. And you might think like, oh, that's fucking stupid. Like this fight is going to take a really long time. Sure. It feels like slow motion now. But it's actually because the game actually starts running slower. Actually, that is actually true that it starts running slow now. But now you're going to see how superior our speed here is. Or well, it's not super superior, but still, you know what I mean. Alright, he won't be able to reach. There's no long range material boom. But you saw there, that still wasn't too bad. And stuff that, and of course, the actual, your dexterity stats affect the actual speed at which the ultimate gauge feels. So if you have a big dexterity advantage over enemies, that does a lot. So he has 70 dexterity now. This is quite decent. I don't think you have 100 dexterity. I don't think you have at max or whatever, right? But of course, this is, you know, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 5 of course, and it's 10. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's 10. So it's going to be 20 plus dexterity just from having those steel materials equipped. And the thing is also, if you consider high level, then enemies that's when you start dealing a lot of damage. Although we probably do not want to be in the front row, even though these are only dealing at 300, so you kinda ease now and stuff like that, and like Lord is getting a lot of health here, you know. Status is so fucking good. Because yeah, you can actually abuse the fact that your character, even for example without taking some speed on, like if you set your speed to slowest, Lord in the battle arena should be way faster than most other enemies. I mean, there might be like if you set the battle speed to slowest, there might actually be encounters where the enemy doesn't get a single attack in before Claude has already killed them. See, that's the thing about that. But stacking like 20 dexterity also you will be like considerably faster than enemies. And I forgot what the highest level enemy will be in the battle arena, because you know, like if the highest level enemy, right, you know, because I always thought that the whole, you know, the whole down 10 levels, whatever, I always thought that that's supposed to affect your like player character, but then why would it be like increasing your levels by 10, whatever, right, you know? Unless it means the enemies, of course, in the battle square. And then, of course, gaining a level up on the enemies can be like really, really bad. But it's, of course, a way better handicap than the other things, because even though, like certain enemies, even if you give them a lot of levels, it doesn't matter that much. It's only on very certain specific enemies where it matters a lot. The main problem is, of course, is that the weapon can break. It's really, really bad if it happens, but then, of course, that's why a lot of levels are really useful. Because if you have a lot of levels, then even with a weak weapon like Buster Sword will still deal a lot of damage, even if your weapon gets broken. I suppose. So the steals are getting pretty close now. And that's other things we're worried about, because we already have the other things mastered. Already have the elementals mastered, HP absorbed, MP absorbed, the all materials. Like absolutely everything. Like it's fucking crazy. It's Kyata being mastered and stuff like that, and it's issues, you know. It's crazy, man, let me tell you, it's crazy, man. Fucking hell, man. But the Berserk is absolutely crazy. Yes, of course, the Berserk always gives you attack. Like even if you have like double cut or slash all equipped, it does not automatically do your slash all, or if you're berserking, it doesn't automatically do full cut or double cut even. It would have been absolutely insane if that would have been the case, of course, obviously, you know, and stuff like that. How many hits so far? 58, okay, that's pretty decent. Because it's used to like fucking like having 99 ethers, like used sales for so fucking much money. Stuff that is just crazy. And then use the money here is not bad on its own either. And stuff that, like the money that you get just from the barrels alone. Like this barrel is still black white 3000, that is 3000 guild used from that single barrel. So that, and that's just the one with the tree, and you know. Because how is he dodging that attack, for example? Like if you see that the fact that he doesn't have, he has 0% spell dodge, which means that why does that level 2 confuse me? Yes, it's actually because of his dodge chance. So that means that level 2 confusion, which you might think is a spell, is actually a physical attack. Because you wouldn't be able to dodge any magical attack because you have 0% and stuff that, you know. Supposedly at least, you know. The reason, of course, why can you then with Mystyle dodge like Okuma, for example, that is because Mystyle actually has the built-in like 50%, and it can go even higher than 50% on the dodge. Stuff that, because the way it works. I think that's gonna be it for this time, actually. Yeah, it's gonna be it for this time. I'm just gonna save now. And yeah, you know, I might actually decide to do, you know, grand more off screen, you know, stuff like that, probably. Because, you know, because yeah. But I hope you all enjoy this and stuff that, you know, yeah. I would probably try and grind as high as possible, of course, here. So that, you know, you at least have the